Alright, welcome back to the channel, citizens of YouTube. Either you have taken a liking to my terrible reviews or you are just punishing yourself. Either way, welcome. Like and subscribe. Help the channel grow. Let's dive right into it. Here we are back in the wonderful universe of Dumb Luck and Dead Heroes. Specifically novella number 3, The Worst Pirate Hunters in the Fringe. We finally have a cover that captures the true essence of our heroes. And just look at Brad's face. That's perfect. That perfectly encapsulates who he is. Also, Jessica Lynn is Asian, in case you forgot. We start with our hero Brad Mendoza being interrogated by an incompetent intelligence officer. Because we have to at least try and portray our hero as not the dumbest man around. Then the real interrogator takes over. This whole section is basically just there to catch the reader up on the events of the last two novellas. And you know what? It works well enough. It's fine. Brad gets to sit down with his crew, Jessica and the other recent addition from the previous entry, Harris, who basically specializes in altering people's physical appearance. They call him the makeup artist, but it's clear he's using like future technologies to do it. He can basically make you look like a completely different person. This will be important later. So you know what? At least they get some use out of him. They all get a meet with the admiral of the little space navy that they're currently being held by, which is basically a way to introduce Kayla Carter. She's not the admiral. She's a woman from an independent world that the admiral brought with her to the meeting. Kayla had petitioned the admiral's little star nation for help, but Kayla's planet wishes to remain independent, so technically they can't be assisted. At least not directly. Yep, you guessed it. Our heroes have been recruited to basically act on the behalf of the admiral in this instance and help deal with these pirates without getting all the star nations involved in some big political nonsense. Also, Kayla is cute. It's important you know this. Once back aboard their unarmed freighter, she even begins flirting with our hero. I smell a jealousy subplot. These scenes are also good because this is where she does some info dumping, pointing out that she's only ever seen about 30 pirates at a time. Now, at this point, you might be thinking, 30 raiders besieging a backwater settlement. Oh, we're doing 7 samurai in space. You know what? I can get down with that. It's fine. It's not the first time it's been done. It's not the last time it's going to be done. It's a classic story. Alright? Although I will point out it was kind of weird that they actually name drop 7 Samurai. Like Brad mentions that movie. Alright, this is set hundreds of years, if not thousands, in the future. No one's going to remember 7 Samurai. Alright, that would be like, you sitting down to tell your friend your favorite ancient Viking story. I mean, no. But you know what? It's fine. Anyhow, you know our hero might have true feelings for Kayla, because at one point he actually mentions what he thinks her exact height is. Because, that's vital information you need to know. Right. Anyway, we've got a very brief chapter where the ship's drive is about to freeze up. Long story short, required maintenance it's been so many hours since the last actual maintenance checkup, and the software that runs the drive is about to lock it up until a licensed technician has a chance to evaluate it. Which, you know what, that's a nice little bit of world building. I kind of like that. There are 2 options for systems where they could go to actually get that work done, one of which is run by neo-Nazis. Alas, they don't go to that one. I mean, I feel you kind of missed an awesome subplot there, where maybe they have to take on a job with some, terrible neo-space Nazis just to get to where they were already trying to get. But alas, no. What we get is more of that brewing love triangle, which is fine, I guess. I mean, conflict is conflict, I guess. Anyway, when they finally arrive in Kayla's home system there, the pirates are waiting for them. Maybe not them specifically, They were basically sitting there to ambush anyone that came out. There's only 2 jump points that are going into that system, so they're basically just camping out there. Not armed for a fight, our heroes quickly formulate a daring plan, because that's what plucky heroes do. This plan involves hiding in a gas giant's atmosphere, and you know what? I kind of liked it. That's a classic ploy in sci-fi stories, and it's a fun one. I mean, it's a classic for a reason. The plan appears to work, and they have some time to wait to make sure, you know, maybe the enemy ship left. Maybe it's sitting up there waiting for him. So they're basically just camping out for a little bit, which, you know, gives us some more time for that romantic subplot. Our hero and Kayla share a kiss. He claims not to know who initiated it. Sure, buddy. Sure. Whatever you got to tell yourself. But a little kiss is all that happens. We don't get a fade to black or anything else like that. Well, thankfully, the pirate ship didn't actually fall for the ruse. They instead they know exactly where within the gas giant's atmosphere our heroes were hiding in their ship. So the bad guys just start dropping mines in there because they have a rough idea of where the ship is flying. So not complete idiots, apparently. All right. But you know what? The most shocking thing revealed at this point is that that explosive implant Harris had put in Lynn in the previous book, yeah, that's still inside her, apparently. You know, maybe they should have, I don't know, mentioned that when they were being held by the military. Maybe have a doctor remove that. Whatever. I'm sure it'll be a nice plot point to pop up later. Anyway, our hero, Brad, comes up with another daring plan. One he says has a 20% chance of success, which we all know is meaningless. He's the idiot hero of a space opera. Yeah, obviously the plan works, so we can get moving to the next scene. You know what? It was fun though. It was a nice little scene. I liked it. Moving on, they land on Carter's world and start getting the lay of the land. Despite being settled for hundreds of years, Carter's world is actually very undeveloped. It's basically just an agricultural world. Their chief export is just the surplus food they grow. Which, as you often see in science fiction, they've built their entire economy up around that. Like, they don't produce any of the other, like, manufactured goods they need for themselves to survive. You know, things like pharmaceuticals to fight off disease. Which made it a lot easier for this relatively small group of space pirates to just, you know, block off the jump points and take control of the system. But you know what? This is space opera. We need entire planets to basically be small towns. You know, a proper scale of you know, a whole planet, even an underdeveloped one. That's too big for a short little story like this. We're going with 7 Samurai. Just suspension of disbelief, guys. It's fine. Although the pirates are very well armed, so something doesn't seem right. Something's off about all of this. I'm not gonna go into details of that. Read the story. You can pick up on a few little clues along the way as you're reading. You know, it wasn't perfect, but the author actually did a pretty good job of you know, leaving you the crumbs there, so you could figure out exactly what's really going on. You know, what the pirates are really about. Anyway, you get a brief little training the villagers montage. You know, they have the confrontation with the pirates. You know, classic 7 Samurai stuff. You know, it's fine for what it is. It's great. I actually enjoyed it. And you know what? I'm definitely interested in seeing what happens in the next one, because hey, this is the good part, guys. At the very end, we get a viewpoint switch over to Jessica. She, for a few pages, becomes our viewpoint character, which is a welcome change. Hopefully, the next installment is all from her point of view. And if we're very, very lucky, maybe Brad will straight up die, and Jessica will become the true hero of this series.